Hello everybody and welcome back to Inside Line Racing. We are sorry for the delay and we are sorry for it being on Twitch, but YouTube is having quite a few problems tonight. So hello everybody, my name is Alan Cavagner and welcome back to ILR, the American tier, the America series, and we bring ourselves to the Italian Grand Prix. And as you can see, as we begin qualifying, or as I should say, are we midway through qualifying, if I go back to the pit lane shot, it looks to be absolute monsoon conditions with fog down the track. Should be interesting to say the least. So with 7.5 minutes remaining, there are quite a few people still in the pits, still trying to figure out what to do for this track and what to do for this race. Surface is on pole position so far, and I have fixed my controller issues from last week. I just found the L1 button for the other controller, put that back on, and we are good to go. No battery issues for today. I unplugged it. It's fully charged. But with 7 minutes remaining in qualifying for the Italian Grand Prix, where do we stand? Surface is on pole. Let me change the detail. Not that. It should be their best. And leader. Here we go. So anyone that's tuning in now, I don't think anyone is tuning in now. Might as well get the link out there. But on board with Sterling West, and he looks to be a solid run so far. He is third on track, 1/10 behind pole position, and top 5 is divided of 3/10. So nice to see how everyone is running today. And while I'm still trying to figure out the problem, everyone in the ILR chat is saying YouTube is down, so we're just going to go with that. 6 minutes remaining, and Sterling West is still third. Fourth is It's Me. And this is, I'm pretty sure, the first time in qualifying we have seen the full wet conditions. So it will bring out a scenario for these drivers. Many of them, if you go back from 15th, you have Josh. He's 5.5 seconds more than that off the pace. So, you know, with these conditions, they are changing it for a lot of these drivers that are used to the dry conditions throughout the entire season. I know for myself, when I, race on this game, I struggle a lot more in the wet conditions, compared to the AI, compared to everyone else. But Anna has retired from qualifying. He has set a lap time, 2.2 seconds off the pace. You can see skipping over the curbs goes Surface. I know Speeds is not too big of a fan of this. I know Sterling West, he just wants to get back into a car and be competitive, and that's exactly what he's doing right now in qualifying. We have roughly 5 minutes remaining, and he is third. Now, with the full wet conditions, what many people may not realize is that with 5 minutes remaining, you're only going to have one tire for qualifying because the rain isn't going to dampen anytime soon. It's not going to stop raining. If it even continues to pour, they'll still be on the full wet. So regardless, everyone has to run on the same tire compound. So this really just eliminates the fact of going out for banker laps or going out for a final run, because with these tires, most likely you won't be starting on them. Most of the time, you usually start in dry races, even when it's raining. You just slip and slide for Sterling West there, but even if it pours in qualifying, doesn't necessarily mean it'll be heavy rain conditions in the race. It could even be light rain, and these tires would not matter at all. So that's why a lot of people just go out there for many laps as possible. That's why you see It's Me in third place. He went out for 3 laps alone. Sterling West has fallen down to 9th place in the meantime. So, I mean, as everyone's getting used to the track, and if you take an onboard view, it's not as much rain as we started with. So, I mean, it is starting to dampen, and that's why everyone is starting to fall down the grid order for guys who have not, gone out for a run recently. But It's Me. He's on a 4th lap in qualifying, locking up those front tires, but still getting the grips to each corner. Surface is still on pole. After that is Diego. Then It's Me. CX. Speedsta is in 5th. Right in front of his teammate Sterling West. Sterling West is P10, but right behind that shot, you can see he is there. So yeah, everyone is saying it is a YouTube issue, but when I go to check my videos, yeah, I can clearly see my videos. So I just think for certain people it's a YouTube issue. because, I mean, it still works on my phone, but nonetheless, what do we have? A couple grid place penalties. That's Jack Collision. Let me check the race director. I didn't get all of that. So, we do have 3 grid penalties of Jack. We have 2 separate penalties for Robin Hood. I'm not sure if that's Robo, but yeah, Robin Hood, I'm pretty sure is the new driver, and starting off in the back with also grid penalties. But Diego, fastest lap time, that is a 1:29.5, so he'll slide up to the top, and that puts him on pole position. That is over 7/100ths of a second over Surface, and Surface is still on a lap time. It is 2 minutes remaining, and you can highlight and go through It's Me on another lap. See the lap time, or the lap numbers do change. Scott is actually, if you notice, he's on the intermediate tires. Very optimistic of him. So 2 minutes remaining. You can ride on board with the Red Bull of Diego, squeezing through Ascari off the exit, clipping the curb, and he'll head down the long back straightaway, approaching the Parabolica, the second Parabolica we have seen this season, the first one being at Hockenheim. I'm pretty sure that was last week, so very interesting. So I'll go through the final corner, and hooking up against that left side, using the exit curb, and with 1:30 remaining, he'll try and keep pole position, as the lap time around here is a 1:29.3, as he extends the time by a tenth or two, most like by 2/10 or so, because that is a 0.27. His original lap time was a 0.07, so he goes up by 2/10. That further puts him ahead of pole position. Surface is going for a good lap now, minute remaining. So here's the thing, I can't necessarily watch the stream at all because it's on Twitch. I mean, I can watch it, I just don't know how to get to it. That's a funny thing, because I don't have the app or anything. But 40 seconds remaining. Going through the field, is there anyone we should highlight? Yellow sector 1, 2, and 3. I see a Renault going slow. I see many cars going slowly on track. That's the Red Bull, keeping at a pace in third gear. You can see the Renault. I'm pretty sure that's Rick Ping, because Elite Lorenzo is retired, but he was just getting ready for a lap time. So, while I go through the driver order, It's Me's in third, right after the front row. After that, you have CX and then Speedsta. King MJ, a lady, is in 7th. 8th is Scott. 9th, yeah, Banana. 10th is Sterling West. 11th is Elite Lorenzo. 12th is Jack. 13th is Gordo. 14th, Rick Ping. 15th, John McClane. And 16th is Josh. And 17th is Robin Hood. So, qualifying is over for some of these guys. They're still going for a lap time. Off the exit at Parabolica, 5th gear, 6th gear, 7th gear. Getting ready, that is Surface crossing the line as he switches to 8th gear. Cannot improve his lap time, and he'll have to settle for 2nd place or worse. No pole position for Surface today for the Greek American. Off the final corner, that's It's Me. Will he improve? He does. For pole position, that is by 5. Is that 5? No, 6/100ths of a second. He slides up to pole position. So he gets the job done when they needed it most. Track position is going to be key here. If it continues to rain like this for the race, most likely it won't. So anyone closest right now for, we could go up to Diego, actually. He's closest, but he's not going for a lap. So we go with a lady. Never mind. We have Sterling West, but Sterling West is spun off the track. So that leaves us to Gordo as the next possible hope for pole position. Final corner, going over all the puddles you can see on track. And going into the pits, that leads next for John McClane, if he can slide up to the top. And almost spinning the car, the Haas driver. He'll come across the line. Where will he go? Up to 13th. What about Josh? Off Parabolica. He'll be the final runner and into the wall. And is that him out? No tires lost, but a front wing damaged as well. And as Spirits waiting for Diego, I'm pretty sure as he's run out of fuel. He's coasting back to the line. He could just retire. But that should be pole position. It's me on the front row with Diego, the only two who have really been dominant so far this season. Both of them getting podiums, an average finish roughly to 1 and 2. But it's me. Our championship leader is on pole position for today. And I was going to highlight a fan favorite, Odoms, cannot be here today. I got XP for that. Wow, okay. But Odoms cannot be here for today, so he was moving up slowly through the championship. Jack has a 5 grid place penalty. I'm pretty sure Robin Hood as well. So basically, they'll slide down to 16th and 17th. Josh will move up to 15th due to these grid penalties. So qualifying will be about It's Me, Diego, Surface, CX, Speedster, Kingham, Jay, Lady, Scott, Banana, and Sterling West. After that, you have Elite, Lorenzo, Jack, John McClain, Gordo, Rick Ping, Josh, and Robin Hood. That rounds up the grid with grid penalties to Jack and Robin Hood. So they'll start 16th and 17th respectively. So now we are hoping for a dry, sunny race like you see in the screenshot here. And it's cloudy. So the rain has magically disappeared. The track is now dry. And hopefully it does not rain at all. And there should be a feature for commentator, for just a broadcast in general or as a spectator, where, you get to see the weather forecast. I think that'd be really cool. So a commentator knows when rain is going to come. Because with these conditions, one can say it's going to be cloudy throughout the rest of the race. Another could say, oh, it may rain midway through and it could stop. You may never know with these with these lobbies and everything, because the commentator doesn't know whether or not rain comes. But in real life, most of the time they have a radar by their side, making sure if they know rain is going to come or not. And, I feel like that's something to be really cool. But as we get ready for the Italian Grand Prix, we have 17 runners. I'm pretty sure we have 17 runners. Last time I checked, we had 17. And I'm holding the microphone, so let me put that down. So while we get ready for the America Series and the Italian Grand Prix, it is 30 minutes past the lobby start, and we are just about to get ready for this race to go green, as you could say. And I'm actually really excited. I love this track on F1, just in F1. I'm excited to race here. I'm excited to commentate here, too. I finally got the link. Now that I can I copy the link address? Yes, I can. See, okay, so that's what's going to happen. So basically, waiting for the race to start. I originally posted the link on Twitter, and it never really did anything. So we are live for America's in Italy. I need to put out this tweet quickly, so while this lobby loads, honestly, if you ask me who I would say would be a threat in this race, I'm still going to say Surface. Surface is always a threat to reckon with. You could also say Diego and It's Me. They start on the front row as well, but more importantly, I'm going to have to look at Speedster. I mean, he was not able to come race last week, and he will be determined to fight his way back through the points and through the championship, and I expect him to get a top 5 today. I feel like Sterling West is going to, with after that not so good qualifying run, barely inside or outside the top 10, he's really gonna have a surge through the field. And also remember that the first corner is a chicane. You're gonna have to look out for that. Obviously, there will be an incident throughout turn 1. Most races I've seen here, there have been contact and collisions throughout turn 1, lap 1. So expect that to happen. And we are waiting for Diego, Robin Hood, and Gordo to ready up. I'm not sure if the lobby's frozen here, like it was last week. So while I post the tweet, let me retweet that, and welcome everybody. If you are tuning in now, the front row for today's race is, It's Me and Diego, the two prominent figures in the championship so far this season, and we are moments away from the start of the Italian Grand Prix. And while we wait for the lobby to start, I'm hoping the lobby starts. I'm hoping we don't have the same problem as last week. So, waiting for Gordo and Robin Hood to ready up. Yeah, people are saying the lobby's broken. I'm just gonna say who it is. It's Gordo and Robin Hood. Oh, here we go. Finally, we got the lobby up and running. Formation lap, nobody's leaving. So, finally, a couple minutes of the race warm-up, and let's go through the grid quickly. A little walk down of the grid. It's me, Diego, on the front row. Third place is Surface. Actually, now that, this is the first race, I'm pretty sure, yeah, you can see varying strategies of soft tires and super softs because, then Speeds has already been disqualified, not surprised. I get to joke around with them like that. But yeah, I was going to say not surprised at all. It's a combination of super softs and softs. Because we qualified on the full wet conditions, the drivers will get to choose what tires they want to start on. Nobody going for a third tire. So it's a choice between the super softs and the softs in general. So that is really, really interesting. I honestly thought I would have gone the hardest compound just in case if we see rain again, or if they know rain is going to come and they put on the super softs to get as much, as a run in this stint as possible until it starts to rain. I'm not even sure if there is going to be rain, but that's a possibility. So because they set up time on their full wets and now it's dry conditions, they'll switch over to the softs or the super softs, and they'll choose, probably the only time they'll ever get to choose, inside the top 10 of what tire they want to start on. And so that is that. Third is Surface, fourth is CX, fifth is Pizza, sixth is King MJ, and his teammate not here tonight. After that, it is a lady in seventh, eighth is Scott, ninth is Banana, and 10th is Sterling West. And 11th is Elite Lorenzo, John McClane is 12th, 13th is Gordo, looking sleek in that silver arrow, 14th is Rick Ping, 15th is Josh, 16th is Jack, and 17th is Robin Hood. So we've already had 4 drivers already disqualified in this formation lap, and I should say many more, roughly now 6. So that just goes to show that despite this track with many straights, it is kind of hard to stay away from people. Not only that, but, hard to mention now that they're not going to have the opportunity to warm up their tires before we start this race. So really, really, really interesting. So CX and Speedsta will be at a disadvantage. We'll look with King MJ to see if he jumps him on the start. So a 27-lap race here in Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. And we are close to the end of this championship, one that has been absolutely dominated by It's Me. Here we go for the race start at Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. It's me, Diego, on the front row. The Red Bull brand has dominated this season. Who will come out on top today? The 5 red lights. And we're green for the Italian Grand Prix. On the start, it's me and Diego. And already at the start, it looks to be a good start from Diego. He lines up alongside, and they're trying to make it 3 wide. That surface down to the inside. They'll make it 3 wide in the chicane. Will we see some contact? He closes the door, but around the outside, taking the short way around is It's Me. A terrible start, and Diego takes the lead off the race start. So it looked to be It's Me had to cut the corner. He goes down to 4th place, and now he tries to go around the outside of CX and Curva Grande. And hopefully, we've seen some action in ILR before around Curva Grande, a big crash that has happened before in the past. Scott going with Sterling West. Sterling West is up to 7th off the start. Single file throughout. One car had to cut it. That is a lady. A lady falls back, and you can see one car in front. Speedsta's falling down to 9th place off the start. So that Ferrari, these Ferraris have been switching back and forth between each other, 5th and 10th, and now they are 7th and 9th in this race. Looks to be, there's one car off. That looks to be John McClane off the track on the opening lap, and not the best start he's had this season, but definitely not the worst. So Diego gets away cleanly. He's gotten the advantage over It's Me. However, cutting the corners early on in Ascari, and there's actually a yellow in Sector 3. That is Speedsta. Speedsta is around. One of the main championship protagonists this season on the opening lap has crashed in Ascari. The Tifosi will not be pleased with that incident, so he is off the track on the opening lap. So John McClane and Speedsta, both Ferrari badged cars, are now back to the grid. So Diego leads the opening lap and obviously gets the fastest lap. Second place is Surface while he tries to close in Diego. He's the one that tried to make it 3 wide, but I'm not even sure what happened to It's Me. I'm pretty sure he realized that they're 3 wide and didn't realize that Surface backed off before turn 1 and maybe thought that he wasn't going to get around in turn 1, the chicane. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe there just wasn't enough room. Elite Lorenzo has crashed. Not sure what happened. We didn't get a good view of it. That's just off the exit of the turn 1 chicane. And just not a good season for him in general. He's struggled throughout, and he's really looking for a good race. And today is not the day, as they wave the yellow flags matching the color of his car. just not the day for Elite Lorenzo, unfortunately. So as we go through the field, who are we going to find? That's Rick Ping going up against Jack. And there's a pass for Sterling West and King MJ. Will we see through Ascari? There's another car off in front of him. That's going to be, I'm pretty sure, CX. Yeah, CX is off, and this is going to allow Sterling West to catch up. So they'll make a move before Parabolica into the inside. There goes Sterling West for P4. And Banana goes up to 6th place. He'll take the position. So down the long straightaway, we'll ride on board with King MJ. You can look, oh yes, I'm pretty sure no DRS yet. It is lap 3, but he's not using it. So he'll keep the move to the inside, gets the job done, holds the inside, and a perfect overtake in the Red Bull driver of Banana. And if you ride on board with Gordo, he's back in 8th place, and he's searching through. And Jack is now under threat and hopping over many of those sausage curbs in turn 1. And not too friendly to the car's ability to the liking. So 12th, I should say, is Jack. 13th is Rick Ping. My mistake. Through Cova Grande, Speedster trying to get back through the field, and rookie Robin Hood is giving him a little bit of a run for his money, but he's going to easily get through him here for the second chicane on the track. He has to actually cut it. That may be a warning for the American, but gets through just fine. Diego still leads. I keep calling people by the wrong name, but Diego still leads. After that, it is Surface, and then we have It's Me, Sterling West, CX. So CX is still in the top 5 after the race start, but again, he did fall back a couple of positions after that. You have King MJ and Banana and Gordo, Scott, and a lady that rounds out the top 10. So the Alfa Romeo Sauber doing an absolute wonder of a job so far in this race. He's been clean and speed stuff, fastest lap. Or I should say Surface, my bad, Surface. So he's taking the lead throughout the first corner. He'll have the outside switcheroo to the inside, but the run goes to Diego on the outside, but that run is not enough. Surface gets clear. And I was going to say, I thought the fastest lap was Pizza because he was in clean air, but it was Surface because he had the toe of the Red Bull of Diego down the straight. So he'll find a way to move. That is Surface taking the lead, but he runs wide. Switcheroo, switch back to the inside, goes Diego, and Diego, he'll go through the first Lesmo, clearing the Greek-American of Surface, so he'll get by through Lesmo 1 and through Lesmo 2. He is still clear and still 2/10 ahead, so he'll have to find another way around. He opens up DRS up to 7th gear, now to 8th. He holds the inside, switching to the outside, approaching Ascari. Stay on board. Diego, 3-second time penalty. So the advantage is now in the hands of Surface, who also has the fastest lap time right now. It is lap 4. Riding on board, there's a yellow in Sector 2. Oh, but Diego, he runs very wide. That may cost him a lot of exit speed. We'll see. He goes to threat, and he'll go to the outside, goes Surface, maneuvering his way to the outside on the super soft tires. He knows he has to get by him because he is on the soft tires, and that's what he does. New race leader is Surface. He finally gets by, and you thought that was for the win right there, but you have to realize that these guys are on 2 sets of different tires. So, it really depends when they pit or how many stints they're going to do in this race. So on board with It's Me, he's in 3rd. He's trailed back, and he's now inside the podium once more. He's gotten by Sterling West. And Sterling West has gotten by CX. And I was going to say, I thought Sterling West is 4th. Or not 4th. It's Me was 4th, but proving me wrong. So let's try and find a battle. What do we have here? King MJ is close to Banana. Spizza this time, 3-second time penalty. So his race going from bad to even worse on the opening lap. Not ideal for him to get that time penalty and also to not spin, but CX now a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And we should stay with the leader, actually, because he is within 1 second. He's now within 6/10. Soft Parabolic, if he gets a good run, he could use the DRS. And there's Surface. He ran wide a little bit. If he can just open up DRS here with 8th gear. ERS mix, just have it as high as possible. Try and reel him in down the straight. Gordo was falling back to 8th. I was going to point that out, but I just want to stay. But Sterling West had a look, but could not get close enough. And Diego is close to surface as well. That front straightaway, it just proved keen for him. He just gained all the time he needed to stay with him. Through Curva Grande, he'll use the slipstream to his advantage. Has a look, but it is still surface leading through the curbs. Hopping over the sausage curb. The difference is still now roughly 3 to 5 tenths. But through the corners, yeah, it's just he loses him, but the exit speed there. Surface, it's just, Diego's going to get back there, just using so much of the curbing. So while we go through the grid, who should we point out? Because the top 4 positions are all divided within 6/10 of each other. I do want to stay with them, see what happens, but this is where they should reel each other in. I should expect Sterling West to be the faster one here, because everyone is in a train of DRS and slipstream, and now that they're all 6/10 within each other, that's Gordo again. He's fallen back and actually spun off the exit of Ascari. So Gordo making another mistake, and I think his car is pointed the wrong way again while trying to spin it out, but no, okay, he's gotten it back. Diego was looking. Sterling West looked as well, identical to what last lap looked like. Now Gordo falling back even more. Most likely having to pit. And he'll follow into the pits. So riding on board with the Red Bull driver, this is Diego. He's going for, I believe, his second win of the season, while our championship leader is right behind him. So leading this thing is still surface, 7 laps in. Not sure if we're going to have rain or not with these conditions. The fog is still here. The fog is, of course, still here from qualifying. Doesn't necessarily help that there's fog, but nonetheless, we shall carry through. The gap this lap is 5/10 off Ascari. Last lap, it was roughly 6/10. So he has been gaining on him. And if he can just use his straight to the advantage and just keep it, he's 4/10 approaching Parabolica. Now through the exit, surface carries his speed. DRS will be open. Oh, it's not open for It's Me. He's lost the DRS, and that could possibly basically lose him a shot at P2. But looking, defending, back, right, left. It is Diego. He'll try the switchback. Oh, and surface runs wide. He has to cut it. New race leader. It's going to be Diego. He got him out. The tension has gotten to the Greek American, and he's just lost the lead. And he's bottled it. He's bottled the race lead. So you saw the maneuver he did. Banana is able to get by in turn 1, and actually through Curva Grande now, King MJ will hold the spot. And when you go further down, it's a 3-car train right on board with Rick Ping here. Actually, no, Speedsta. Speedsta should be making a quick time of Jack, as Jack has not gotten a podium this season, and Speedsta has, and ahead of him in the championship. And showing the faster pace, Speedsta will try to get around him. Just needs to be patient. So if you notice back there, Rick Ping picked up a 3-second time penalty. That was for what happened in the second chicane that you just witnessed. We'll go back to them in a minute. Here comes Surface. Surface is still not done with Diego. This is going to be unfinished business for Surface as he goes through Parabolica. He'll get ready for the straight-in DRS. He'll put it on to Rich Mix. Not only that, but ERS management. He's been saving the entire lap just to use it here. Up to DRS now, up to 8th gear. Sterling West's fastest lap. But down the straight, he'll try Diego. He'll try to move to the left-hand side, to the outside. Sterling West again trying to just fake It's Me. It's Me's already back to 6/10 already, so he has gained him quickly and made quick time. So lap 9 out of 27. Left and right through the chicane, just weaving over the sausage curbs. Taking another right, hopping over. You have to be very, very patient. Why don't we go to Rick Ping? Because he's 5/10 close. Is he pretty close? I'm not sure that's overtaking close enough. Why don't we just go back to surface? That is 3/10 now, approaching Ascari through the right-hander, left-hander again. And actually, I think Spiezza got by Jack. Yes, it is. He made a mistake. So the minute we take eyes off Jack, he makes a mistake under pressure. We'll stay with Rick Ping because he's close enough to make a move before Ascari. The Renault will look to the inside of the Toro Rosso. And he'll make easy work of him to the inside and takes a position away. Diego still leads. Surface cannot gain down the straight. It's me trying to find his braking marker. So leading away is Diego off the opening part of the race, and that's pretty interesting. I'm sorry I keep moving my mic. Trying to adjust it while I can, but... Lap 10 now on board with the Red Bull driver, and actually, there's an incident with Robin Hood. So Robin Hood has fallen victim to Gordo. Gordo has gotten by, and actually, despite his debut, he's still trying to maneuver around the track on the super softs. I was going to say the mediums were available. Nobody started on the mediums, but Gordo now has switched to the mediums to ignore what the screen shows you. Those should be white wall tires, but nope. Wait for it. They're white wall tires. They are white wall tires. Not working with me. They're red, but they're white. They're white. So looking at the gap right now, you can see It's Me. He's closing in on second place. So he was able to find just enough time between the switchback of Diego and Surface. He was able to reel in and gain half the distance. And Josh, 3 seconds of time penalties. And now down the straight, looks to be Surface has lost Diego. But It's Me has gained on surface, so he'll try the move. These softs are now starting to prevail. Defending to the inside, or the outside, I should say, setting up for the inside, both locking up. So It's Me, and actually, pit stops already. Lap 11 out of 27. That's Sterling West and CX into the pits. So several drivers already making their pit stops, and that's interesting to say because we're only 11 laps into this thing, and these are guys who have not only started on the super soft tires, but on these softs as well. So it begs the question, what is the best tire to be on right now? Most likely you assume it's the soft tires because of the wear and everything, and you also look at the top 7, and only one of them is a super soft runner. And speaking of that, It's Me is going to pass the man on super softs at his surface, and he's fallen down, and It's Me is up to second place. So next, he has to hunt down Diego for the race win, or for, I should just say, the lead as of right now, because it's a little too far down the race, but nonetheless, we shall carry through. So there is Robin Hood. So you can see, pretty quiet for these guys. I should actually look with Sterling West and Speedster because the two Ferraris are going at it side by side for the Tifosi fans, and they must be proud of their drivers going at it, but not really necessarily for what position it is. It is 8th and 9th. As I look at right now, Sterling West just got ahead, and actually Speedster goes into the pits. Happily, they're not pitting on the same lap, or else that would have been a catastrophe, but into the pits goes Speedster. That is lap 12. And he's been on those tires ever since the race started, and he's going to change them. And actually, Surface, he pitted as well. He just got out of the pits. There's only 2 men left on the super soft tires already. Kind of goes to show how much they're wearing and how much you can do with them. But Surface up to 9th place, and nobody inside the top 6 has pitted yet, and that's because they started on the soft tires, and they've been managing them very, very well. So 12 laps into this race, Diego leads. It is a second gap between It's Me, who's in second place. So leading so far, he's close enough, but not close enough to enable DRS. It's just over a second, so DRS is not a factor as they go through Parabolica. King MJ is in third place, and there's a yellow in Sector 2, trying to see who that is for. Can't necessarily tell, but so lap 13 now, we're at the halfway mark, And roughly it's been 15, 20, 25 minutes so far through this race, and we are at the halfway mark. And Diego is leading the way. It is 1.3 seconds. It's me in second. Third is King MJ, and these guys have not pitted yet. And they have started on the harder compound. We're just waiting for them to pit. So a lady's in sixth place, and a lady is trying to pressure Scott, who's in fifth place. And he has reeled in the gap. Yellow in Sector 3 again. Jack is out of the race. First retirement of the day. It is Jack from the Toro Rosso. Let's go to Gordo, because he may have a good view on this. Most likely through a Scary, maybe a retirement. Maybe off the exit, I assume. Yes, off the exit of a Scary. I assume he lost the left front tire. If we could get Jack in here, that'd be fantastic. So, while nothing goes on, why don't we invite Jack to the party? Why don't we? And never mind, Jack is already offline. Lovely. I could not even get a word with him. Could not even interview him, nothing. He does not even appear online anymore, so that is refreshing. So, Diego still leads. It is a 12-second gap from It's Me. And, honestly, he's going to head into the pits now, and it's kind of shocking to see the gap went up. The time we take away from Diego and It's Me, most likely there was an incident between, I wouldn't say between the two, but just with It's Me in general. I did see a chipped wing, if I was correct. Are they going to repair that front wing? Yes, they're going to repair the front wing. There was damage with it, and that's what caused the gap. So, halfway through this race now, they're going to repair the front wing and put on a set of white wall tires. So as I got a note passed to me during the race, someone came in, they didn't want to interrupt me, so they just wrote out a note for me saying what they're going to do. So here we go, lap 14 now, halfway through this race. It is Diego on pole position, but in the race, King MJ second, and as you can see, the top 5 have not pitted yet. It's Me would have stayed out if he did not break that front wing. I honestly did not catch what happened. I mean, you can't really hit a wall. I was about to hiccup. You can't really hit a wall here and still be in the race. I mean, you could chip it like here on the bridge on the straightaway, but that's about it. I mean, you'd have to hit it on a car, so I assumed he came up on lap traffic, because the time he slid into second place, that gap was with more than a second from Diego, so I highly doubt there was damage. And you could look from the rear end of Diego, and you can see there's no damage on the rear end at all, so I don't think he hit Diego. He was nowhere close to him. And it was front wing damage, so it had to be someone in front of him, not behind him. But for It's Me, it's shocking to see him get damage. He's usually flawless in these races. And lap 15, he finds himself in 9th place. So he's made numerous mistakes so far this race. He had to cut the first corner despite getting pole position. That made him fall back to 4th. He slid up to 2nd, got front wing damage. He had to pit early, and he had to go on the medium tires, which he did not want to do. And now he had to repair the front wing. He's back to 9th place. 10 seconds back from Surface, who's in 8th, who actually qualified in 3rd place. And just goes to show where he's been all this race. Scott and a lady going at it. Sorry for missing this. And actually, Scott goes off the track, off the second chicane. And now Josh gets by Elite Lorenzo. So multiple overtakes happening. A lady now going with Sterling West. He's reeling him in. So while I've been rambling on about what could have happened to It's Me, we missed several key overtakes, and another one of Elite Lorenzo and Josh again as they approach the exit of Curva Grande now through the outfield chicane. Through Lesmo 1 and 2, Elite Lorenzo hanging on. I don't want to miss the next battle, so why don't we just stay with the lady and Sterling West. I mean, Josh, and that is 3/10. Could get him at a bad exit, just I don't see him getting him down the straights. And actually, that was Robin Hood off the track, off of Lesmo 2. And Sterling West and a lady get by Banana, CX as well, because Banana is in the pits. And this is going to be our first runner of the race that started on the softs and will go in for a regular time stop. So we will start to see lap 16. It is 12 laps to go, and we should start to see these guys pitting for medium tires. Either medium tires or just pitting very, very late for super soft tires. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but the one stop looks to be in order for some of these guys. It's Me barely gets ahead of Banana. So that's really what we can see from his pace right now, or what we can determine from the pace. We're going to look with CX now. It is 1/10. He gets through Lesmo 1 as the lady loses the back end. Just could not stick to the track, not enough grip, and he just lost the car out from underneath him. Surface is now on Scott's rear end. He's up his gearbox, and Scott will be under pressure now. Runs over the DRS board. So Scott actually lost. I'm not sure what happened. Looked like he tried to let him by. There's something wrong with the car. Is there a puncture? I'm not sure if there's a puncture. Is there a puncture? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, there's a puncture. It's a left rear puncture for Scott. That I saw him handle that car, and I'm like, that has to be a puncture. It's the left rear. You can't see out the rear end, but you can see it is a left rear puncture for Scott. And it's unfortunate. He was trying to nurse that car around. He was on 15 lap old tires of softs, and it really just goes to show that now you have Diego who's on 16 lap soft tires. Whether or not he's going to make it in this race, I don't know. And it's really a showing point of when these drivers should start pitting, and that should be right now. And right now, we're going to keep all eyes on Diego. These tires are just blistering, and he's waiting to pit. I assume he's going to pit this lap so he can do his final stint. And actually, I think he's been pushing it so he could pit on the super soft tires for his last stint. And that's just impressive to say the least, because he's gotten through the majority of this race on the soft tires. So if he can pit again and make it on these super soft tires, he should be good to go. And yep, into the pits he goes. He survives on these soft tires. So 23-second gap to Sterling West. This should be enough to get ahead. It's not a particularly long pit straight. So he'll put on the super soft tires, and away he goes for the one stop in this race. Where's Sterling West? That is the question. He's off the final corner. He should take the lead. And he does. New race leader is Sterling West, just barely ahead of Diego. So, within the next couple of laps, you should see Diego trying to pass Sterling West now that he's on fresher tires that have more grip. So, lap 18 now out of 27. Diego in second, third is CX, fourth is Surface, fifth is King MJ, sixth is It's Me, seventh is Banana, eighth is a Lady, ninth is Speedsta, ninth, or 10th, I can't count. Eighth is a Lady, ninth is Speedsta, 10th is Josh. Josh is in the pits on 8-lap old soft tires, or I should say 7-lap old tires. Lap 18 now out of 27. We have 10 laps to go in the Grand Prix. Sterling West, he's on 7-lap old soft tires. So this is very interesting because he's going to try and go to the end on these, because the longest run that we've seen on these soft tires is 17 laps, and that is from our very own Diego, who's right behind him. So the strategy that they've been trying to run is the old switcheroo, with Sterling West starting on these super softs, trying to go roughly around 10 laps on him, or so. I should say 10 laps on him. Went 10 laps on the super soft tires. Now he's going to try and go 17 laps on the soft tires. And that's actually exactly what Diego is doing it, but in a different order. He started on the soft tires, now he's on the super soft tires. Speaking of these two, they're going to go for a battle. To the outside goes Diego. Clears Sterling West for the lead. Both of these drivers plan on finishing on these tires. And some of these guys who switched to the mediums, I'm not sure if they misspoke and took the wrong tire that they started on. I just don't think that they necessarily knew how little the tire wear would have been to them. But, if they started on the super soft tires and then pitted on the mediums, oh man, they could have just pushed those tires to the end. They would have been easily fine. But for Diego now, he's going to start to pull away because he's on the better tire. They're newer as well. Oh, and into the wall goes CX. He was running in third position, and he's out of the Italian Grand Prix. We caught that just in time. That was off the second chicane approaching Lesmo 1. And CX is now out of the Italian Grand Prix. Our second retirement of the day comes from Sector 2. Just very disappointing for the McLaren driver. He just must be furious with that result. He was gonna get mostly a top 3 spot. He was gonna get bronze. He's gonna get third place, a podium. You can call it what you will, but that is just down the drain. It was gonna be a fantastic result, and now it has gone down to nothing for CX. And now we go through the grid. Here's Gordo. Gordo's close to Elite Lorenzo. What about Josh to Rick Ping? Rick Ping is 56 seconds behind Speedsta, but we'll keep with this battle because, hey, they're going at it. You can see the Renault. Just a terrible line through there. Josh easily gets by for the single point. And like I said, it is very valuable that we stay on this battle because the 3 cars that do battle, 2 of them will get points, 1 of them will not. So we do want to keep an eyes on them. There's 4 of them. 2 of them will get points, 2 of them will not. You can see in the background Scott as well. I guess you can consider him in the battle, but you could look ahead. Elite Lorenzo, late move on Josh? No, but... And that is Gordo off the track. But I am going to tell you this. Remember back to the Austrian Grand Prix, Renault does not like Haas. Like in real life, they don't have the best relationship because they're always battling each other, but on track here in the ILR America Series, it's pretty much the same thing. If you remember the Austrian Grand Prix, I'm pretty sure it was Elite Lorenzo that collided with one of the Haas drivers in turn 1 and took both of their races into jeopardy. So again, they're battling on track now. Josh is new to this league, so hopefully he gets the same treatment as Elite Lorenzo has given the other Haas drivers. And yeah, he has, because he's going really close to the Haas driver. He's trying to get by him. He's desperate, and Haas has been a pain in their neck the entire season. I'm pretty sure they're close to each other in Constructors' Championship. The Renaults have been consistent nearly inside the top 10. Haas is towards the bottom, so they've been going at it for Constructors, so keep an eye on them. They've been producing a good battle, and I almost hiccuped again. Yellow in Sector 1. I'm pretty sure that's for Gordo, coming out of the pits very slowly. And Scott gets by Rick Ping. Rick Ping made a mistake. But Elite Lorenzo close to Josh. So P10 is Elite Lorenzo, P9 is Josh. We'll stay with them. Both of them running wide. That's a time penalty for Rick Ping. Not on the screen, that was Elite Lorenzo, but Rick Ping just collecting that 3-second time penalty. So down the straight, down to the white line. Elite Lorenzo, what a move. He's pulled it off. I was waiting for him to make the move, and he finally decides to do so. So in turn 1, he makes the move on lap 27 out of 20, or 21 out of 27. And 7 laps to go in this race, and he is finally able to get by Josh and slide into 9th place. So while everything starts to calm down on track, I should not say that. Banana's in 6th place, and he is going to feel vulnerable from a lady trying to pressure him. DRS is probably the fastest we've seen a car, switching to the left-hand side, the other right, down to the outside, switching and clears the Red Bull. That is probably the fastest trap speed we have seen all day. That was the fastest I've seen anyone go. Josh is retired, so Scott gets promoted to P10 of the single point. 6 laps to go. They go through Curva Grande. Banana have another shot. He'll look to the outside in the chicane as we are closing in on the end of Sector 1. Let's keep an eye on Banana here. So riding on board the switchback, approaching Lesmo 1. He'll have the inside. And will he have a go? He backs out. A lady takes P6 from Banana. So holding on. P6, it's been inevitable for these two. And a lady still holding. He'll look to the inside. Banana to the outside. And Ascari switching back in single file. Ascari has been a tough time for these drivers so far in this race. We have 5 laps to go. Elite Lorenzo, 3-second time penalty. So Banana, he's just close. He is reeling him in. We come to 5 laps to go for these drivers. It's already 5 laps to go for Diego. It's a 4-second gap between first and second. But now we're looking with 6th and 7th. It is a 3-second gap. Revving up. He's already maxed out with the slipstream to the inside. The Red Bull driver, he'll do it again. Another fastest trap speed we've clocked down already. And this time, Banana is able to repass a lady the same place last lap that he got overtaken by a lady. So these two are going at it. The key is just to stay behind one another, and then off Parabolica, just enable DRS, just fly down the straight and go to the inside. But here comes a lady back. He is not done, and he's able to clear the Red Bull driver before the end of Sector 1. So a lady is back ahead, and similar to last lap, they overtake each other the same exact way, but the difference is that a lady was able to re-overtake the man and just overtook him again. So it really goes to show that a lady has this fighting spirit. He is fighting through the field, and he is going to make sure he finishes in P6. And wow, you can look at that gap. It's impressive to see them battle because a lady's on the super soft tires. That's something he does not need. 4 laps to go, by the way. Well, Banana can push all he wants because he's been on the medium tires for the past 7 laps. They're really, really new. For the soft tires, he cannot wear them too much. 10 laps or so is the most he can do on them. He's gone 6 laps on him, and we have 4 to go. So he's going to be close. If he gets in any more battles, those things will start to wear. They'll feel vibrations, the whole 9 yards. Those tires will not feel good if he continues to do like that, and that's why he just wants to pull away now and secure 6th place. But as we speak right now, for once, the only closest gap, I'd say, is 6th and 7th, with Scott getting a 3-second time penalty. That's not too much of a worry, because Rick Ping does have a penalty, and he's also 10 seconds behind. But also look at Speedsta. He's been pushing and surging through the field throughout in the beginning of the race because of that incident on lap 1 that saw himself spin out and go to the back of the field. And now he's back in 8th place with 13 runners left, and he's looking for at least P7. Hopefully P7 for him. But again, he does have a 3-second time penalty, as does many of the drivers in this field. So we do approach 3 laps to go. For Diego, turn 1 action with 3 to go. This should be his 2nd win of the season. Let me double check that. We'll ride on board. Nobody's really close enough to each other to do a battle. So while I go to the DMs and make sure the championship standings are correct, let me go to the ILR Americas chat. Let's check the point standings. So yes, actually, yeah, I don't actually have the updated championship standings because I don't have the German GP standings. It's probably somewhere, but we all knew that Odoms won that race, or at least I assumed so. I didn't hear anything back from the stewards over the team orders at the end, of the supposed team orders. Said, oh yeah, if you missed last weekend's race, oh man, let me fill you in while we wait to finish this one. Why don't we just look with Banana here? This is the closest battle we have. Gordo, 3-second time penalty, but this is basically what happened in the German GP. Probably one of the best races of the season. I thoroughly enjoyed that race. There was a lot of overtaking, and then at the end, Odoms pulled away, but what happened was, he slowed down to let King MJ win, but what happened was, he had a lot more time penalty, so when he slowed down and let King MJ cross the line first, Odom still won the race. He can't even purposely slow down. He still wins the race, which is funny enough. Interesting. Even when he tries to lose, he still can't lose. So that's something at Odoms that I laughed about. But Odoms did end up winning last week out, and that should be his 2nd win of the season. He won the British Grand Prix, I'm pretty sure, and he won the German Grand Prix as well in Hockenheim. And now he's not here today, so it really just hurts his case for the championship. But But I actually interviewed Odoms last week because he didn't want to be in the party while we interviewed him. And one thing I asked him is, do you think you're still in this championship? And surprisingly enough, Odoms said no. He believes that his championship is already over. And I'm like telling him, I'm like, what do you mean? You did already miss a race, but you've gotten several podiums, several wins so far this season. If It's Me has a bad race like today, he could have gained in the championship. And he said, well, I can't be there next week, and if I could, Italy's not my best track, and the tracks we have next, they're just not good for me. And I mean that does make sense. A lot of these drivers have their best tracks and have their worst tracks. And while we approach the final F, it's probably Diego's one of his best tracks, and that's why he's leading. He's had the luck on his side, he's had the skill on his side, and as we approach the final lap and as we are on the final lap, Diego has led the majority of the race and has been flawless, to say the least. And that Red Bull driver looks for a second win. Could have been his third win if Australia, the heartbreaking retirement did not happen. But final lap, Sterling West looking, I believe, for his first podium of the season, or at least I know Ferrari's got a podium this season. Let me double check that in a second. But it'll be a standout performance for him. And here we go. Speedster, finally! Oh, and he runs wide! Oh, it was a Daniel Ricciardo move. He tried to lick the stamp and send it, but when he tried to lick it, he probably got a paper cut, because that overtake did not work. So, Speedster falling back to 8th place, and he's going to have to settle for it. And he got a time penalty as well, so bad luck as well. Not ideal, but Diego wins the Italian Grand Prix. Got that perfect timing. He wins. And Sterling West comes across the line. It is P2, and 8 seconds close. That's the best that the Italian crowd, the Tifosi, could be happy with. A podium is the best that they could get. LR Surface is P3. P4 is going to be King MJ. Surface is actually 2 seconds off because of time penalties. He was clean throughout the race. Final corner, King MJ, 13 seconds back, is P4. P5 is going to be It's Me, but he's been clean this race and actually gets to keep his spot. P6, 6 seconds behind It's Me, is P6 of Lady. P7 is Banana. 8th is Speedster. Oh, left rear puncture. Will Elite Lorenzo get him? Most likely no. Man, again, I'm not surprised by the puncture from Speedster. Crashes across the line. And race over for him. P8, not the best result, but Ferrari 2nd and 8th, good result for them. Red Bull 1st and 7th, good result for them. A couple notables as well. So the only two teams that both score Rick Ping crashed out on the last lap of this race. He was running inside the top 10, but on the last lap in Curva Grande, did he actually cross the line? I'm pretty sure he did cross the line, so I don't think that counts. Probably the AI crashed, but here is your podium result. It is Diego on top again. The American of Sterling West in P2. Sterling West was going for ILR 1 today. I didn't catch much of it, but the Williams driver of Sterling West, he had a solid race, and after that, in 3rd place is the Greek American of Surface. A livid racing podium once more, and definitely happy with that, and that should be the race over for the Italian Grand Prix. I'm pretty sure we have 3 rounds after this one. I think this is round 8, so 9, 10, and 11. Let me do the math real quickly. And everybody had time penalties. Wow. Let me just check the point standings. How many races we have left after this. So yes, we have 3 rounds remaining after this. We have the United States Grand Prix, we have the Japanese Grand Prix, and then of course my favorite track, well at least one of my favorite tracks in the game, we have the Brazilian Grand Prix, which is the perfect and best track for the finale. I know commentators and presenters should not have opinions, but honestly, Brazil has produced fantastic, and I mean fantastic championship finales. I remember 2007, you have 2008, you have 2012 as well. Sort of the modern era, it's produced fantastic finales. So I just wanted to shed a spotlight on it, if you will. Brazil, as of recently, within the past 10 to 12 years, has really been a fantastic track for a finale. And despite ever since Abu Dhabi came into place, that was meant for the finale. Brazil has always been a great track for that, but next track is the United States Grand Prix, probably the biggest race of the season because it is the America Series. So everybody wanting to win at home. You have guys like John McClane, Sterling West, Robin Hood. You have Surface and Speedster, and many of the other drivers that are American as well, wanting to win at home. And that's something that they will be looking for as we approach Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas next week. And that should pretty much end everything here. We're not going to do driver interviews. For the sole purpose of that, we've only got one person to really do them. And really knowing how Speeds' race went, I'm pretty sure profanity will be used when he joins. We're not going to bother with an interview. So thank you everybody so much for joining us for the Italian Grand Prix. That finishes the ILR weekend for action in Monza. That will finish the Italian Grand Prix. We will see you back for round 9. It is the United States Grand Prix next week. Is it next weekend? I'm pretty sure it's next weekend. Because I don't think they're going to interflict or have a conflict over an F1 race, because Canada's going to happen next week, and I'm not sure if we're racing next week. So let me check, and let's be accurate. Never mind. It does not say. Come on, schedule. Do we have a schedule? No, we don't. Well, I mean, we have the schedule. It just doesn't say when we're racing. Anyway, we'll just say next race is the United States Grand Prix. I think that's where we're going to finish out today. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in. My name is Alan Cavagnaro, and we will see you next time for the United States Grand Prix. Have a safe night, everybody, and peace.